Big announcement.
Big announcement. This isn't a joke. This isn't like some clickbait thing. We got a big one. What's up, everybody? Talking Trash Podcast. Oh, we are back in the building. It's been a few months. We got my boy Diamond Hands, Daniel Amesbury. How you doing, big guy? How's it going out there?
I'm good. Yeah, we're just got to Cincinnati for a game here, and then a game on Saturday in Indy. But yeah, on the road. But I brought my stuff so we could get this ball rolling with the podcast again.
I know it's been crazy, man, for both of us. I mean, technically the first half of this hockey season for both of us, it's been nuts. I know everyone's been DMing us and when you guys coming back, I'm happy to finally get this thing going again, man. It's great to see you as always. And hey, let's just jump right into it, man. In Kansas City this year, making a lot of noise, a lot of buzz around you as always, man. How's it been out there in Mavs country?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been obviously it's been a good start for us. You know, I feel like all the bumps in the road that we had were early on, and we kind of ironed some things out, and we're just getting better every game and every day. Yeah, we got a really good group of guys, really skilled. We got, you know, obviously some grit, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the last half of the season here, and yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are looking really solid. I mean, like you said, like any team, any season, especially in the coast, such a tough league. Little bumps here and there, but you guys look dialed in. I mean, there's so much talent on that team. I mean, I've been busy, obviously, this hockey season more than ever in a long time, so I haven't been able to watch as much as you have last year. But, man, you guys got some really solid players out there, man. Who are some of your teammates that you kind of caught your eye or, you know, looks like they may have what it takes to get to that next level?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Borsch is number one. Cade Borchard, like, he's Rookie of the Year last year, I believe, and just an unbelievable player. You know, he finishes his checks too, which is just, you know, icing on the cake. But yeah, we got a really solid team all the way through. I would say, you know, top guy offensively has got to be Borsch, and then top guy defensively. I mean, it's so hard to say, man. We got so many guys. I hate even naming anyone because we just got so many guys. But, you know, we got a really strong D-core too. Jake McLaughlin, really good. He's been playing with Mazza lately, which is a great D pairing. You know, like I said, it's hard to even name one guy because everybody's chipping in and playing really well. So yeah, it's fun to be a part of, and obviously our goaltending is elite as well. So it's, yeah, we got a really special team, and you know, like I said, we just keep getting better every time we get on the ice. So I mean, that's important too. So.
And one of the things I was excited about most, you know, in the offseason, getting close to the year, is they picked up your fellow Bash brother, Josh Thrower, back on defense, man. How's Josh doing, man? I know I've reviewed a few of his fights in the past. You two seem like you guys would be two peas in a pod out there.
Yeah, it's nice having another guy. And, you know, me and Throwers are obviously boys. And, you know, we get to play together every once in a while on the wings there. And but it's, you know, it's nice. It takes a little weight off, you know, both of our shoulders, and having the 1-2 punch. I mean, our division is pretty tough this year. You know, we're not the only team with two guys that can really handle themselves. So, but it's definitely nice to have another guy. And obviously, you know, like I said, it takes a little weight off the shoulders. And, you know, me and Josh, we have some good times and on and off the ice. So it's, you know, it's nice to have a guy like that. And we, you know, we get along really well. We're very similar in a lot of ways. So.
Well, you just segued perfectly. We didn't even plan this. I wanted to talk. I mean, we talked about, you know, go in the off season before the season started. We talked about the East Coast Hockey League. I remember I put out a post, okay, at DB Trashers, by the way, and on Instagram saying I believe the East Coast Hockey League may be pound for pound the toughest league in hockey, like all over, man. I mean, you just hit it on the head. Most of these teams nowadays in the coast have two legit guys that can throw down, and man, you know, for me, you know, that's like a match made in heaven for me. I absolutely love the toughness. I love the grit. So many tough guys out there. Obviously, yourself as being one of those marquee guys. I mean, we've always talked about it, especially last year. You and I are kind of trying to be the voice of the fourth line boys, the tough guys that are still there. I mean, you said it once, you think the pendulum is swinging back to this toughness. I mean, look, it may not be that great for you because you got to answer the bell and go out and do your thing. But from a fan perspective, how much fun is the East Coast Hockey League right now?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, me and you talked about it, and it was almost like part of our master plan. How can we make hockey? How can we bring back the Trasher days? And I don't know if we had anything to do with it, but the pendulum was swinging anyways. And I would like to say we helped, but I don't know. But it's been awesome, man. Like, I mean, being a fan right now in the ECHL, like for me. The kind of hockey I want to watch, I'd probably be watching more ECHL games than anything. There's always action. There's like I said, our division specifically has a lot of legit heavies, but like all the top teams in the league got guys that can go pretty much with anyone. Obviously it's a necessity at every level, but you definitely see it a little bit more. I feel like everybody's hungry in the coast. Everybody wants to move up. So, guys are willing to go the extra mile. And, it's been really cool. I think that it's got to be great for the fans to have that little bit of extra bite in the game. And, you see the Coast Battles. Shout out to the Coast Battles on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Posting everything. Was it posting all the fights and stuff like that. So he's kind of keeping everything alive for everyone and kind of, getting everyone seen. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of these fights, guys wouldn't see them. Like they're not on hockeyfights.com. So it's nice that there's a place that they can get posted and it's easy for guys to find. Because I think guys are getting called up because they're getting seen in these fights. So,
well, dude, you also segued. You're doing a hell of a job being in Cincinnati. You segued something perfect. Obviously I'm friendly with all the fight fan pages, Coast Battles, Bruised and Battered. Shout out to Darren, Alec, Hockey Fight League. I mean, these guys are like family now, you know what I mean? And they love what, we all kind of have the same loves and pushing the game. We talk about some of the hypocrisy sometimes in hockey. And I've been talking about this for a while. It's like they don't want fighting. They don't want to promote it, yet that's all you see. The highest views stuff you see is the scraps. You know what I mean? And it's crazy to me, man. And it kind of drives me a little nuts. My boy Coast Battles was telling me, I think he got a cease and desist. I don't know if it's from the East Coast League. I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't know if it's from the ECHL or wherever, but they're basically threatening them, not to post the fights or whatever. I mean, how crazy is that to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like I don't know what the reasoning would be, but I think what they're doing is helping the players. So I feel like the only ones that are getting hurt by these not getting posted are the players because it's helping guys get exposed. And I mean, at the end of the day, like guys will, a fight gets seen and an AHL team needs a heavy and next thing you know, the guy's getting called up. So I think it's helping guys. I think it's helping guys getting exposure. It's helping guys move up. And at the end of the day, like, I don't think these guys have ill intentions. I don't think they're trying to like do anything negative. I think they're just trying to help the guys and show that have their passion for the game and how much they love that side of the game, which I mean, they're not on their own. It's obviously a big group of people that like it because like I said, all my videos that do well are my fights, I'm always getting the most clicks on those. And obviously when Chicklets and those guys post it and, missing curfew and whatnot, it obviously helps too, right? But I feel like that's those guys are doing nothing but helping the players and helping guys get exposed. So
that's what I'm saying, man. It's like it was so funny because like whenever an enforcer signs in the Coast or any league, I'm not picking on the Coast, but it's like big news, right? Everyone's loving it. It's always the most liked post on a team's Instagram when a heavyweight comes or a fight or a scrappy, gritty fan favorite. But they don't. It's like hockey is so nuts to me, man, because it's like hockey's so nuts because it's like it's still there, the fighting and everything. They want it there. They don't want it there. A few weeks ago, Hartford Wolfpack, they had a Matt Rempe bobble fist night. You know what I mean? But yet, it's crazy to me, man. I mean, I feel like, and we've talked about it, guys like you, the tough guys, man, it's just so underappreciated. And listen, I know active guys can't really talk about it, but I can. You guys are so underappreciated. It drives me nuts, man. I mean, and you never complain, but do you feel that role, maybe not yourself personally, but do you feel that role is like just basically underappreciated?
Yeah, I mean, you get love from the fans, but I think a lot of people don't understand how hard it is, I guess. Like, I think, like, you get a lot of love from the fans, which is obviously huge, but I don't think there's also a large percent of people that don't understand how hard it is now, because in today's game, like towing that line and not taking penalties, and then also sometimes you gotta like cross the line a little bit to enforce something or to make sure guys don't do things, and it's really hard. It's really difficult because you want to make sure your boys are taken care of. You want to make sure nobody takes liberties on your guys, but you also don't want to put your team short, and especially in a game nowadays where a power play can change the game. So I find it really hard to kind of that's the hard part for me, is kind of towing that line. And then I think maybe some guys just don't understand how difficult it is. It's like, obviously scoring goals is hard, but like a goal scorer is not going to score goals all the time. You know what I mean? A goal scorer is not going to score, every once in a while they're going to have a slump and they're not going to score goals. Well, I feel it's the same thing goes for the role that we have. It's, you can enforce the game, you can create all this room for your team and make it really easy for your guys to play. They don't have to worry about anybody, but every once in a while something happens where you maybe push a little too hard, you cross the line. And I find that's the hard part for me, and I think a hard part for everybody in today's game. Rempe, same thing. It's like the guy wants to make big hits, he wants to get the boys going, but he doesn't want to take a penalty. And some of the hits he's making, it's like it would be clean if the guy was the same size as him, but he clips a little bit of his head or something. Next thing you know, it's 5 in a game and his team's killing a 5-minute penalty. So I find it's a really difficult time for this role, and just like anything, just like a goal scorer, just like a playmaker, anything, you're going to have ups and downs, and you're going to have good weeks and bad weeks. And I think sometimes maybe it's some people just don't understand how hard that is, I guess.
No, and you said it. I mean, we are friends. We are supporters of Matt Rempe. That's my guy. I know you've hung with him, speak with him frequently. I talk to him now and again. That is my guy. He is such a. It's just a shame he's a Ranger, but taking that out of it, man, Matt Rempe to me is my type of guy. Okay, he is just a polarizing figure. And listen, I'm going to come at the Rangers a little bit, okay? And this kind of goes with everything we're talking about, man. I feel like the Rangers have completely botched this kid, like handling this kid. I mean, let's take a quick history lesson. He kind of, a little over a year ago, he kind of burst onto the scene in New York, okay? That outdoor game, I think was his first game. Got into a fight right off the opening draw. Over here in the New York area, I mean, when that happens, you become an instant legend, an instant celebrity, okay? I mean, last year he was doing everything, fighting everybody. He had the first goal in the playoffs for the Rangers last year. He was doing everything, and he was, he was trending up. And then I don't know what happened, but it's like they want to tone this kid down, right? But at the same time, I feel like they're sending him back to the American League. He sent him to Hartford, bring him back and forth. I'm just telling you, man, they give this kid mixed signals, and he struggled, I guess from a fighter's perspective, maybe he struggled a little bit. I don't know if he's been as in the fights this year as he's been in the past. I feel like when he drops the gloves now, it doesn't seem as natural as last year. I feel like he's saying to himself, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I have to do it. And the fights maybe aren't in his favor as much. I really believe the Rangers are playing with his head, and I think that happens with a lot of enforcers, and it drives me nuts, man. I don't know what to say.
I think that's like pretty common. It's really hard. Like, I think it's just like one of those things of just understanding how difficult it is to be in that situation where it's like, hey, we want you to push hard and be this scary guy to play against, but we don't want you to take penalties. And it's tough because, you can be super effective and then you take a penalty and then now you're getting, obviously you're getting shit because you took a penalty. So now you're like, okay, you kind of get reamed out for the penalty. So now you kind of are like a little scared to be, to make that hit and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's tough, man. And I think Remp's got that same kind of thing. I know I've talked about it with him recently on how hard it is to make that decision last second if you're going to hit the guy or not. Like, you're fully committed to hitting a guy and he jumps out of the way. I had it happen last game where I went to go hit a guy. I was fully committed to hitting him, and he just he's seen me last second, and he bailed out so hard and jumped out of the way. And I ended up having to stick my arm out, like chicken wing him and catching his upper body, because I didn't want to just catch him with my lower body. And they ended up giving me, I think, 2 minutes for a knee. Like, I don't even know if our knees connected, but it kind of looked maybe like it. But it's one of those things where it's like, back in the day, guys just take that hit. When that hit's coming, they see it. They're not bailing out of the way and be like, oh, I got to get out of the way. Like, I'm going to get killed. Back in the day, guys just take that hit and get up and keep playing. Now guys are just bailing so hard, and you're fully committed, so it's hard not to clip them, or it's hard to, fully jump out of the way yourself. So I think there's lots of tough decisions to make under this role, and especially when you got a target on your back. If you're a guy like me or Rempe, you already got a target on your back. The refs know who you are, and they're watching you a little extra close. So having to make smart decisions on when to finish checks and when not to, and stuff, and how to find that line. It's more harder and harder as the game evolves, but it just makes a guy that's good at it more valuable.
Listen, and there's another segue. I mean, did you see the record with Matt Rempe on the ice for the Rangers? I mean, the record it's insane, right? And you're gonna get all.
Yeah,
these...
I think what is it, like 22-2 or something? Last time I seen it, it was like 22-2 or something.
Bro,
crazy.
It's insane, and it's so funny because listen, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, right? And it's like the haters will still say, "Oh, it's a skewed number." So listen, we talked about this before, and I'm a little nuts, obviously. And I don't sleep anymore, and I'm always looking for work or something to do. I decided, you talk about fully committed, I am fully committed to starting an enforcer stat, okay? We talked about this a little in the past personally, right? Baseball has that new stat. Well, it's not new, a couple years old. Every year, baseball's got something new. But they got the WAR stat, okay? Win above replacement, I think it's called. And it's this crazy stat where, when the guy's in the game, there's certain results and off, you know what I mean? I am going to, and we just talked about some of our friends, man, Coast Battles, Bruised and Battered, Hockey Fight League. I want to sit with these. This is going to be our brain trust, Ames, okay? Yeah. We are going to put together a war-style stat for enforcers. Because, again, what drives me crazy is, all right, guys like you, maybe at the end of the game, you're not going to see a goal and assist or this and that. But what you do for guys on the ice, even if you're on the bench, people, unless you're involved with a team directly or in the game for real, you have no idea what having a guy like Diamond Hands, having a guy like Matt Rempe, having a guy like Nico Blashman, just from all levels of hockey, having a Yannick Turcotte, having those guys on the ice, what that does for your, quote, skilled guys, unfortunately, there's not a stat for that, bro. So I'm saying, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to invent, we could call it the trasher stat, a bad boy stat, or we could just call it, enforcer war.
I like it.
I'm telling you, we are going to come up with a stat, and I'm going to have our boys figure this. We're going to figure this out, and we're going to start putting this stat out there, and it's going to gain steam, mark my words, because I like it. I mean, I know our friends over at Flow Hockey, Flow Sports, they love you. I know they always collab with me on posts. I'm going to get them to start posting this stat, man, because you may have 1 or 2 points this season, but the points that you bring to the Kansas City Mavericks, just your presence alone, unfortunately, you don't see it now. But we're gonna change that, Ames. You mark my words, bro. I'm gonna figure it out. I got no life, dude. I got so much going on, but yet I always am trying to find a crazy ass project like this, and we're gonna figure it out 100%. So yeah, man, let's talk about real quick. We're talking about you in the trenches every day. Your first game of the year, and it's funny because you got suspended the last game of last year's regular season, so you had to miss a few games this year to start. Your first game back, how perfect is it? You're facing your old team, Fort Wayne Comets, and their new tough guy, Yannick Turcotte, who I happen to really like, really humble guy, spoke very highly of you as well. You line up, what was it, your first shift, I think?
Yeah, I think
it was funny. The day of, I remember being like, hey, what do you think? We're always scouting potential fights you might be in. And I remember you always saying the same shit to me. Oh, I might wait a period or two. I'll let it kind of mellow. And I knew you were lying to me. And your first shift of the year, you arguably have the fight of the year so far in the East Coast Hockey League. Definitely, in my opinion, the fight of the year, the first half, with Yannick Turcotte, man. Tell me about that, because Yannick he's a bad boy too, man. That's a big boy. Hey guys, so I just want to mention something about one of our sponsors, Club 93. As you know, Club 93 has been with us from the very beginning, episode 1. I just want to remind everyone to support them. These guys are involved in so many fundraising and charitable events, so they deserve our support like they support us. Last year, they participated in both the Top Hat Cup in the spring and the Mustache Classic in the fall here in Danbury, and they also helped support the Mac Cup in Jersey last summer. This year, they are back with both events here in Danbury, and they also just started sponsoring the Find a Child Friday segment on the Melissa Jade YouTube channel, which it helps bring attention to missing children all over the world. They are also involved. They also have legendary NHL referee Carrie Frazier. Carrie Frazier, the best hair in the NHL at the time, who is a spokesperson for them. Lots of great things happening with Club 93. So guys, please get out there and support them. We'll put a link in the bio. These guys tell me they soon will be unveiling their traveling Team 93, which will travel around and participate in charity hockey games all over. Just great stuff. So let's help them out. Check the link in the bio. We're always Team Club 93.
Yeah, it was good. It was a fun fight. Like, he fights a lot like me, likes to go both ways. Pretty wiry, lots of energy. So it was a fun fight. But yeah, lots of build-up, obviously. I know some Fort Wayne fans. Shout out to Brittany Hughes that came down and you know, they huge Fort Wayne fans, but it was cool to see, some of them come down, and, obviously everybody kind of anticipated it. There's lots of hype online. I think Fort Wayne posted their game day post, and it was a picture of Turcotte. And then 20 minutes later, Kansas City posts their game day post, and it's a post of me. So it was like, it was kind of like a hype thing. It was fun. It was fun though, man. Like, I think that's all good fun. And, Turcotte's a good guy. We talked in warm-ups, and he came hard at me in warm-ups, which, like, I think he was just expecting me to do that to him. And I'm trying to calm it down a little bit this year, because I feel like I put a little bit too much radar on myself from last year. But I came out and he's, mouthing me off a little bit in warm-ups, like, we're gonna go, and I'm kind of looking. I think he was surprised of how calm I was, and all I said to him, I said, yeah, we're gonna go, but we're gonna take our helmets off. And I could tell when I just caught him off guard. Guys don't really do that in this league, or haven't really been doing that in the last few years in this league, taking their helmets off. It's more of like a Central League thing. We used to always do it. So I said, yeah, we're going to go. But we're going to take our helmets off. And I could tell he looks at me. He's like, okay, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to take our helmets off. I'm like, all right. So we squared up, took our buckets off, and had a good tilt. And, yeah, man, it's fun for me, man. I like that toe-to-toe kind of fight. And, I mean, you know me, like, I could probably do better if I just grappled guys and twisted them up and used my strength a little bit more. But I just want to go toe-to-toe with guys and get into those bash fights. And yeah, it was a good fight, and got the crowd into it, and unfortunately didn't win the game, but yeah, it was a good fight, and yeah, it definitely got some exposure. I think Chicklets posted it, Curfew posted it, Flo posted it, so it was all over the internet there for a bit.
Yeah, it was big, man. I remember reviewing that one, and whenever I review a fight I view, I'd never put a decision, because more times than not, you edge things out. But if I say that, I look like I'm being a homer. So I remember just being like, I refuse unless I have a gun to my head. I refuse to, like, make a decision on an Ames fight. You know what I mean? Unless it's like super clear cut.
I lose every fight in the comments, no matter what. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, you suck, bro. You can't skate. You got pillow hands. You suck, dude.
I love it, man.
You absolutely suck. Bro.
I swear, I have the same. There's some of the same people chirp me on my posts from Ice Wars.
Dude,
literally,
they're obsessed with you.
I have some of the same people. They're like, "Oh, the Ice Wars was rigged. You didn't beat Parker." Blah 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 blah. This and that. Man. The same people comment on my shit. Oh, you lost again. Blah blah. They're in my DMs, man.
Man, they're obsessed.
Sending me DMs, like paragraph long DMs. I'm like, dude, get a life, man.
Bro, some people are so obsessed with you, it's insane. Yeah. And it's funny, when I started, you know how I know my fight reviews are starting to catch fire? Because now I'm starting to get shit from people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's how you know you're doing good, like, as far as social media is concerned, once people are ripping on you in the comments.
Dude, it's so funny, because, like, dude, I take the fight shit serious. Like, I literally will record the fight. I watch it at least 5 times in like fast motion, 5 times in slow motion. I legitimately am counting. And it's funny, like this one guy's like, oh, you gypped. I forget what fight it was. Guys bitching about, oh, your numbers are off, or this guy threw way more and this and that. So I sent him on DM the slow-mo version of it. I'm like, bro, you count it right now. I said, if I'm wrong, I'll send you $100 Cash App right now. And he never responded because he knows. I'm like, dude, I'm not just making shit up, man. But nah, it's awesome, man. But it's a lot of fun, you know, tweaking people. I don't take it that personal or serious, but it's nuts, man.
I use it as a measuring stick to know if I'm doing good on social media or not. Like if I see people ripping on me in the comments, I know that post is doing pretty well.
Oh, hell yeah.
So.
100, dude, 1,000,000%, man. Speaking of, I mean, I don't know if we'd call it a highlight, but let's talk about school day in Kansas City. You guys played it was like a 10 or 11 a.m. game. And I remember back in the day in the United Hockey League, we didn't do it with the Trashers, but I remember there was other teams that did like school day games, which is kind of a really sick promo. I'm sure the kids love it. They get out of school and stuff. But I remember you telling me, yeah, I'm playing like a 10 a.m. game and, you know, school day, right? So in Kansas City. Oh, that's right. So you guys, so one of the school day games, you have over 6,000 kids. I remember Kansas City, the Mavericks, they posted a picture. Dude, sold out arena, 10 o'clock in the morning, okay? You guys are playing Iowa, I want to say. And you're playing our buddy Nico Blashman. You guys get into a scrap, obviously. Shout out to Nico. That's my buddy. And, dude, I remember I was at work, and I'm trying to, actually, it was Coast Battles on Instagram that sent me the video. I just see a picture of you gushing blood, and I'm like, oh, my God, did somebody catch him? Meaning, like, I thought maybe you got into a fight or something. And, dude, come to find out, you got kicked. It's not funny. You got kicked in the face with a skate.
Oh, yeah.
You want to tell us, you want to tell, like, how that happened or what happened there? Because that was a scary moment. I'm laughing now because I know you're fine. But, man, it was a scary moment.
Well, it was a tough couple weeks for me. I think on the Saturday night I fought Klotz and got buzzed, and he gave me 5 stitches under my eye. So I had a black eye and 5 stitches on my left side. And then I come out, I have stitches, and they're like, hey, you probably shouldn't fight. You got stitches. I'm like, yeah. I was like, Foxy,
yeah.
Can you please put some Vaseline on my stitches because I'm going to fight? And then so I fight Nico first shift. It's school day game, 10 a.m., and I'm like, I don't know. There was some unfinished business with Nico, and he was running around last year with Casey's, so there was some stuff that needed to be handled. So I go at Nico first shift, fought him. Thank God he didn't catch me in my stitches. And then, you know, I get out of the penalty box, and it must have been 2 or 3 shifts later. I go make a hit kind of near the center ice line or the red line, and I kind of fell awkwardly, and the guy, his skate came up and kicked me like right above my eye. Like, I'm so lucky he didn't you know, take my eye out. And I had a gash like on my visor way on the other side. Like, if I didn't have my visor on, I think I might have had like a 20-inch gash across my forehead or something. But glad I had the visor on and I was wearing it properly. I wasn't wearing it like on the top of my helmet or anything like that. But yeah, it was a rough couple of weeks for me. I was pretty banged up. Pretty much went straight to the locker room. I was gushing blood. Didn't really know where I was bleeding from at first, just feeling, obviously check the neck and then like the face, and then I looked down and it was just like gushing blood. It was like a faucet of blood coming out of my face, and booked it down to the tunnel, and Dr. Doan stitched me up. Like, he's a real pro. Stitched me up real quick. He's our team surgeon, and he had me back on the ice and finishing the game. I think I was back at the end of the period and played the next period, and I was fine. I could see fine out of it. Like, a little bit blurry because I kind of got rocked a little bit when the skate hit me. Like, it did hit me pretty hard. And then I finished the game. You know, by the end of the game, I could see I had like my vision back again. And then, you know, I think I only played like one more shift that game just because I couldn't really see that well. And then that day after the bus, I think at 5 p.m. that night, we were heading to Wichita because we had a school day game the next morning at 10 a.m. And, you know, Tad messages me like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah. Like, you know, I'm fine. Like, you know how I am. Like, what am I gonna say? Oh, my
I know.
My
It's
eye
impossible.
hurts. What am I just gonna say? My eye hurts. Like, I think I'm gonna miss the game. Like, think I'm gonna sit this one out. Like, if anybody asks me, "Are you good to go?" I'm gonna say yes. Like, whether I have one eye or two. So I end up getting on the bus. It was honestly not terrible. Like, I think I had 20 stitches, or 19 stitches in my face at the time. I think 13 of them were on my eye, or whatever. I can't even remember what it was. But yeah, so I ended up getting on the bus that day, get to Wichita. Everything was fine, whatever. Go to bed that night, wake up in the morning, and my eye is just swollen completely shut. So I went to Wichita for no reason. I didn't play that game. Obviously, I couldn't see out of my eye at all. So I didn't get to play the next game, but it was a tough couple of weeks for me. And then fast forward like another week or so, and I had a lower body injury that put me out for like almost little over 4 weeks. So it was a tough Christmas for me. I think that was pretty much end of November, and then pretty much all of December I was out. So, but I'm back now, and I'm healthy, and I feel like, you know, everything happens for a reason. I'm fresh now, feeling good, body feels good, and ready to, you know, bang out the rest of the season and get on a playoff run.
Listen, we gotta talk about. I gotta say from my point of view, okay? When Coast Battles, my buddy sent me the picture of you, you know, or the video of you skating off after you got hit, you know. First of all, you know, I think people always wonder, when you get kicked in the face with a skate, right? Did you, like, it's going to sound stupid, did you feel it, or the adrenaline, you don't feel it till after the fact? Because I know in the past, like, when I've gotten punched or hit or something, you don't really feel it then. You feel it after the fact. Did you, like, feel the blade hit your face, or was it kind of like a blur?
No, I got kind of like seeing stars. Like, it was like I got hit with a sledgehammer over the head, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like the blade hitting me as much as like I felt like, you know, I got a really good punch. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get knocked out, but I got buzzed a little bit, I guess you can say. So I did feel that, but I didn't like feel like it didn't hurt. Like, the cut didn't hurt. You know, it cut right through my nerves, so I didn't really feel much of that. But, you know, you get in the room and stuff, and then you starts to get a little sore. But it was more sore like the next day more than anything. The biggest thing I would say from that, like the injury that came out of that, is I still don't have any feeling in the back of my head. Like, which is weird. Like, my head's numb, like, all the way behind my ear. So that's kind of weird. I don't know if that's going to come back. I hope it does, because it really doesn't feel great. But I think that's just from the nerve damage, because the blade went right to my bone, and the bone kind of stopped it. And, you know, Dr. Doan did a really good job, stitched the inside and the out. I want to say it was like 7 on the inside, 8 on the outside or something, if I remember correctly, something like that. And he did a really good job with it, but that's the only thing that I can say that came out of that, is like, still don't really have much feeling in my head from like my eyebrow to behind my ear, but I'm assuming that just a big nerve or something got cut. But you know, it's funny, when I came back, I remember we were talking about all the kids in the background and stuff, that scene.
Oh, wait, I don't mean listen, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's where I was going with this. Dude, so I'm watching this video. The first thing, to be honest with you, I was concerned, because I didn't know what had happened. I was like, oh God, I hope he's okay. You know, that's my first concern. But dude, I'm just a sick individual. I went from looking at your face and seeing the blood and everything and all over the ice. We're at school day, right? We're like 10, 11 in the morning when this happens. Bro, you see a section of kids, okay? I don't know how old they were. They were young. And
like grade 6.
And I'm going to post a picture up of it. Their faces, it was like they saw, it was like they were watching a horror movie, okay? You look like Frankenstein or Chucky out there, just gushing blood, and you see these kids freaking out. You see, like, teachers holding their mouth, covering kids' eyes. You just absolutely ruined school day for a whole section of kids. How do you feel about that?
I mean,
Ames?
there was already 2 fights in the game, and then that happens. I'm sure some of the teachers weren't too impressed. Probably the last. I don't know if they're gonna sell out the next school day game after that or not, but I'm sure the kids were pumped on it, or some of them were. But it was funny, because when I came out to finish the game, I get out there, and the whole entire section, like right where it happened, like they got a front row seat to me getting the skate to the face. The whole section was gone.
Yeah, they were out.
It was the only section in the whole place that the whole place was packed, and there was one whole section gone, and it was right where I got kicked in the face. So I'm assuming it was too much blood for the front row.
They probably got back on the bus when they came and scraped the blood off. You know how they scrape the blood off the ice? That's probably what did it for that section. But man, I got to tell you, that is one of my favorite pictures. It's one of the only because you're okay now. Yeah. It's one of the funniest damn photos you'll ever see.
Well, I'm definitely glad that I still got my eye. That could have been bad, but
no.
You know, someone watching over me, and at the end of the day, like I say, it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, and I'm just glad that, you know, I was having really bad nerve pain there for a few weeks, but Wessie there gave me a couple knocks in the eyebrow, and they didn't feel very great. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fight, like if this doesn't get better, and it's gotten better. So I'm really glad about that, but still not much feeling in the back of my dome, which kind of sucks, but that's all right. Could be worse. Could be a pirate with one eye.
Which, oh yeah, we could sell diamond hands, diamond like an eye patch or something.
Yeah, I'd have to go back I'd be back working on the tugboats. I'd be looking like a real pirate this time, one eye.
Listen, you know, you talk about underappreciated people. I mean, and you're not the only one, but I'm talking about you. I mean, like you said, that was a rough few days stretch. You had a tough fight with Jarrett Klotz, you know, tough fight, caught you. It happens. Every fighter, it happens to every single person. Most people who take a shot like that take a day or two off. You come right back. You're playing 10 in the friggin' morning. You're fighting Nico Blashman, who's one of the tougher guys in the league. Then you take a skate to the face. You come back to finish the game. You get on a bus. I mean, that's not normal. And I don't think people understand just the sacrifices guys like you make. And again, there's a lot of guys who do it, but talking specifically about you, I mean, it's just nuts to me how guys aren't appreciated, you know, because a lot of guys, they don't got the stomach for that, man.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I just think some people just don't understand it. And like, I mean, a perfect example, you think about Rempe and like what he does for his team and his record and stuff like that, and you still got guys that are like, I can't believe he's in the NHL, he's not skilled enough, he's a terrible player, this and that. First of all, he's a pretty good player, he can move the puck, he can skate, like he's not a terrible player by any means. And another thing is if you think you're better than him, then why aren't you in the NHL? Like at the end of the day, like he might not have the same skills and abilities, but there's a ton of guys that are in the league that I'm in right now that if they had the balls to fight like Rempe, they'd be in the NHL. 100%, no questions, but they don't. So I think that's a thing that like some people just don't really think like that. They just think about like how much skill a guy needs to.
Yeah. So listen, man, let's sidetrack a little bit about you. I mean, let's go from you scaring about 100 and something kids from the Kansas City game to all the good things you're doing in the community, which again, it's not something you do for the exposure, but I just know you from day one and what you've done in Danbury, what you've done in Fort Wayne, what you're doing in Kansas City and Colorado. Every time the Mavericks are posting some sort of community event, you're there, man. How's it been out in the community in Mavs country and, you know, some of the great stuff you're doing out there?
Yeah, it's been really fun. Like I said, I try and do every event. I think there's been one event I wasn't allowed to do this year. One, you know, I told them I wanted to do every single one, and there was one that I couldn't do. And I was supposed to go read to kids, but I had 2 big black eyes and about 20 stitches in my face. So Tad said I had to sit that one out. But no, it's been really fun. Like we've done tons of community events. We just did one the other day where we're raising some shampoo and conditioner and some soap and stuff like that. And you know, we went to a nonprofit that has housing for military veterans and stuff like that. But it's been really good getting around the community and stuff like that. And you know, I love doing that stuff, and it has nothing to do with I don't care for the exposure. I just like doing that stuff because, you know, like I've said it before, when I was down and out, I had people pick me up and dust me off. So at the end of the day, that's what life's about. You got to give back, and it's not for any of the clout or the videos. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm doing it just because I think that's just what life's about. It's about giving back and helping people, and you know, if you're helping people and you're a good person, then, you know, the universe will pay you in other ways and help you when you need it. And it's just what goes around comes around. So, you know, I try and just do as much as I can. It's really nice to connect with people around the communities and stuff too, and just get to know people, because obviously I'm fairly new here in KC and stuff like that. And then I think right after Christmas, I was actually super pumped that I had like a little bit of a break, and I had the time where it worked out, where I was able to I was on the IR at the time, so I was able to fly to Colorado to see my buddy Hunter there, who got to ring his bell.
Oh, big Hunter.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Hunter, he's a cancer survivor now. He's done his fight with cancer. He had bone cancer in his leg, and he had a pretty intense surgery. And I spent lots of time with him this summer when I met him because, I got close with him, and I'd go, play cards with him and stuff while he was doing his chemo with him and his mom at the hospital, and got pretty close with him. So this summer when he was ringing the bell, his mom messaged me and told me, and she said, hey, if you can make it, that'd be awesome if you could come. Obviously you're having hockey season, so whatever, maybe you can't, but it worked out, and I was able to fly in and surprise Hunter. He didn't know actually that I was coming, and I actually showed up at his house the night before, and he was like, he woke up. I was at his house, and he woke up and he's like, what are you doing? He couldn't believe it. So it was super cool to see him and get to see him ring a bell and kind of move on with that chapter, and kind of, get to focus on his next steps of just like rehabilitating his leg and he's trying to work towards, some of his goals as far as like getting back into sports and stuff like that. But love to do that stuff and love to be around the community. But like Hunter's extra special for me. Just shout out to Dog Nation, Marty at Dog Nation. That's where I met Hunter. It was at the Dog Bowl, which is a big hockey tournament in Denver. A bunch of the Avs were there, ex-Avs, current Avs, and Marty put on a great event there, and he does a lot of good things for a lot of people, and I think they raised over $300,000 that hockey tournament.
Wow.
He was just handing out money left, right, and center to families that need it and families that are going through tough times. Most of them, all through the hockey community, and that's kind of how he's built his network and whatnot. So a huge, amazing thing that they're doing with Dog Nation, but it kind of got me close with Hunter, and I got to say thank you to the Mavericks organization for letting me, take that weekend and fly out to see Hunter and be a part of that, because that meant a lot to me. And I know Dog Nation. It was really cool for me to get out there and see all those guys and just support Hunter, because at the end of the day, like, I look up to that kid. He's a fighter, and we have a lot in common. I don't think he knows how much I look up to him. So
yeah. That's awesome, man. And listen, he probably made the right call, Tad, but having you talk to a bunch of kids with 2 black eyes and stitches probably would have been the greatest photo op ever. So I just look at things differently. I think they missed an opportunity there, but probably for normal people, it was probably the right call, man. So that's good to hear. Shout out to Hunter. You're definitely a trasher, bad boy, and man, it's always, you're always doing for people, and it's so good to see all the time.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, like this is my second kick at the can with hockey, but the one thing I value a lot more now than I did then is like community, and like how much this sport really gives to people outside of what you're doing on the ice and outside of like actually going to a game, and just having the community. And when you meet a hockey player, there's just that camaraderie and stuff like that, and I just that means a lot to me, and I want to take advantage of that as much as I can.
Awesome, man. Super proud of you, man. And I know everywhere you go, man, they all know DH for sure.
Yeah. I seen you got lots going on over in Danbury. You guys are getting the ball rolling again. What are you seeing over there in the Federal League, and what do you guys got going on over there? Anything?
Yeah, it's crazy, man, how we met, and we were both out of the game. We met through Ice Wars. It's crazy sport we created, and we were both out of hockey. Next thing you know it, you're in Danbury. Next thing you know it, you're in the East Coast Hockey League. Next thing you know it, we're both back in hockey in some capacity. Man, it's been a weird, crazy ride so far this first half of the year. So proud to be part of the Hat Trick organization, here in Danbury as a senior advisor, working, hand in hand with Matt Voidy and the coaches and everybody. And man, it's just been nuts, man. Just trying to get my bearings back. I guess maybe in a way not that much different than when you came back after retirement, I guess. You gotta, you know what you're doing, but it's like you're getting your bearings. For me, I'm not doing anything physical. It's more mental, obviously, but I always prided myself on having an eye for talent, an eye for guys who have the it factor. And I decided the first month or two of the season to kind of just sit back, kind of observe everything in the room, observe what we had, because we inherited a roster, obviously. We've had to make a lot of changes over time, and man, just scouting guys in the league and other leagues, getting back to it. I feel like recently I've just started to find my groove again, and found my love for this again. It's a lot of work. I take it serious. I told her, man, I'm like, look, if you're bringing me in, I'm all in. It's not, I'm not here to come and shake hands and kiss babies. I'm here to work. So, we've had a weird first half of the year. We were a 500 team for a while, which was so frustrating because we just have so much talent. And I just felt early on we had, like, each of our lines were like copy paste, same type of lines. And now we're starting to, like, we definitely have a more balanced roster, a little more grit. But it's been good, man. I mean, you know how it is. Danbury's a crazy place. I've been here my whole life, but the fan base, like myself, we expect excellence. You know what I mean? It's been fun, man. Everywhere I go, they're all asking for you to come back, and I'm like, look, Ames got bigger fish to fry right now. Maybe in the future, towards the end, if we could get him reinstated back in the Federal League, you never know. We might have to literally be together for real in Danbury. You never know, man.
That would be unreal. You got to pull some strings with the league to make that happen. But
hey, listen, I've been super critical of the Federal League in the past. Especially, you're my brother. I'm going to defend you, to the electric chair if I had to. But being involved. It's funny because, it's just like the Trasher days, man. When it first came out that I'm back, no one in the league was talking to me. No one wanted to talk to me. I think we got a certified letter right away warning me not to do anything stupid, or I don't know what they thought I was going to do. But, man, I've gotten close with some, and by close, I mean, I'm talking to guys, and, I think they realize, kind of like Richard Brissell in the UHL, I think they're realizing the type of guy I am and what I want. And, all I care about is Danbury winning. That's all I care about. I want to win. I want to help guys move up to another level. There's so many similarities to 20 years ago with the Trashers and so many differences. So it took a little while to figure out the objectives of things. And, man, just doing our thing. And, I definitely made a lot more connections and I just want to win, man. I want to win. I want to see the league do well because the league has a lot of potential, man. And you know me, man. It's hard for me to sit still. I'm always trying to find ways to help people or help teams or help the league because if I'm part of something, I want it to be the best it could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%. I think that's like one of those things I feel like it's the same with you that we both get. It's like when people don't know us or talk to us or whatever, they just build this character up of who we are. It's like we're like some WWF character that's like, this guy's just a killer. He's going to hurt people or whatever. And then they talk to you and all of a sudden you're a human. And they're like, oh, this guy's a normal dude. Like this guy actually just has good intentions. He just wants to win and entertain and this and that, right? So I think it helps when you get to have a real conversation with these people.
No, and listen, the reality is I don't blame people because if they just see guys like you and me on the surface, I mean, we've both gotten a lot of media attention over our lifetime, especially the past few years. I mean, let's be honest, we're wild guys, man. I mean, deep down, we're a little out there, you and me. You know what I mean? But when people talk with us and really get to know us, they're like, wow, these are some stand-up real guys. You know what I mean? And but that's life. I don't blame people for having a misconception or not or prejudging because, if you see someone constantly in the media and they're always being portrayed a certain way, that's what you're going to think, So it comes with the territory, man. But, man, and I got to be very honest with you. I'm going to sound biased, but, I mean, I'm very impressed with the Federal League in terms of talent. You know what I mean? I mean, I know it's single-A hockey. It's still considered professional hockey, but there were some good players in this league, man. I mean, you played in it, obviously. There's some solid players. I mean, guys that I could see in the coast soon, maybe even make that trek up to the American League. You never know. It's always fun to watch, and I really enjoy the scouting part of it, and kind of like I like finding diamonds in the rough, no pun intended. And man, it's been a fun ride so far.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. The game's gotten so skilled now, and like there's just there's so many talented players out there. And I mean, I think we have 3 guys that are full time, in the coast right now that we won the championship with. 2 for sure. Me and Marchie, obviously. Willie's been up and down, but he's up, and I can't remember where he was last. But between the 3 of us, we've been up. I think J-Max got some games in. So we've had 4 guys basically playing in the coast from our team in Danbury, which it's crazy because it's surprising that nobody got called up when we were playing there. It's blows my mind how that happened. I don't even understand that. But yeah, Marchie's solid. He's playing in Atlanta. Obviously I'm in KC, and then we've had another couple guys going up and down. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of skill in that league, and hockey in general, it's just getting so skilled. So the ECHL is just stupid. I think we've played against 2 goalies this year with over 150 NHL games.
That's crazy.
Aaron Dell, who played for San Jose for 5 years, and then can't remember who the other one. I think it was on Savannah. But both these goalies have major NHL experience playing in the coast. Pretty crazy. But that's just what it is now, man. That's the NHL's utilizing this league a lot more than they used to. So.
You just hit on the head. The skill level is so insane. It's really hard. And this year in Danbury, I've been to basically every home game. I'm bringing people to games with me to watch, that maybe never been to a game before. I'm like, hey, I'm with the team, come with me. Bunch of the boxing guys, and girls, and, just business people. And they say the same thing. They're like, I cannot believe how fast it is in person. You know what I mean? Because for some reason hockey and TV just don't mesh right. I feel like it doesn't do hockey justice.
Yeah.
When you go to a game, man, it's absolutely insane. I love taking people to their first game. It doesn't matter what level of hockey. When they go to a hat-trick game, they have so much fun. It's awesome, man. It's like old times. And which I was in the process of doing. I'm in the process of I'm starting a nonprofit organization, and obviously you are too, because everything we do is together. I'm incorporating, shout out to our friend Jane B. Up, who's a big help with this. We're starting the Danbury Trasher Legacy Foundation, and really going to do a lot of cool stuff. A lot of those junior trasher teams. The youth teams in the spring this year in Danbury, there's 140 kids. I'm going to have more info soon. It's going to be a Trasher Selects team.
Nice.
So we got some crazy jerseys coming in. Just
I think
pushing
did I see those jerseys today, or is that a Quebec jersey? A different jersey?
That's our team in Quebec, Jason Clark.
Yeah.
Dude, but I want, it's not really about the Trashers, man. It's just, the Trashers it's not about the team anymore. It's a movement, being a Trasher and I want to do so many, we've talked about doing camps for kids, helping kids. I want to, what the thing I will say, and maybe you could correct me, man, when I played hockey, Ames, I wasn't some star hockey player, but I played rec league. I played in-house. It was fun. What I noticed today, I'm at the rink almost every day. Dude, there's so many games all the time. There's so many teams. I feel like everything is so stiff now with the kids. It's so high level serious, all the time.
Yeah.
Bro, it's sick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what?
It's the parents.
Bro, everybody,
everybody thinks their kid's going to the NHL. He hasn't even met girls and drank beer yet.
Bro, but the level of play and it's crazy. I want to take this Trasher Legacy Foundation. I want to bring back fun leagues. I want to bring back in-house league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's kids that are scared to play hockey because they know they're not going to make this AAA team, this high-level team. You know what I mean? And how can we grow the game? Well, we got to take it to the street, first of all. I want, we're going to do a lot of street hockey stuff, but I want to bring back friggin' rec youth hockey, friggin' in-house hockey. Have fun.
Yeah,
you know
100%.
what I'm saying?
It's tough. It's a tough sport. You need to get reps in, and it's one of those things. You can't just go out and rollerblade, or you can go out and rollerblade, but you can't just go ice skate on the street.
Man.
You can throw a football. So it's getting these kids exposed to it young, and having a way to actually get them into it. That's what it's all about, and that's how you grow the game.
That's the one thing, how can I do my little part? How can we do our little parts? Because the world is huge. The sport is bigger than it's ever been. But I'm how can I help? What can I do? And, I'm trying to think differently. I don't want to be another youth league that you got to pay, $100,000 to be in. You know what I mean? I want, let's bring back the fun. And so we got some projects on the way, man. Definitely looking to help kids and make it fun again and all that. So many kids at the gym, man, the boxing gym want to get involved, even if it's just street hockey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And We'll see, man. It's
Awesome.
been a lot of fun. Listen, speaking of boxing gyms, our gym's turning 10 years old in a few weeks, but we got to talk a little bit about something, man, because we were about this close to you knocking out internet sensation KSI.
Yeah.
Can you believe? We got to give a shout out to PG Paul Garino, who we work super close with. He's helping you a lot with a lot of promotional stuff, marketing stuff like that. He has such a hook in with Misfits Boxing, which is taking off. Celebrity influencer boxing, but it's legit. And KSI, who I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about. I just know he's like an internet sensation. Every kid seems to know who he is.
The UK Jake Paul.
Yeah. So we were down to the wire. We were about this close. We were calling him out.
Yeah, I think it was only down to I want to say 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
And we were in there. So
one thing you personally have taught me since we've known each other is the universe, right? You said put in the universe.
Yeah.
I know now that we are gonna cross paths with KSI at some point, and you're gonna knock this man out.
Yes.
How does it feel to just even be in contention to potentially fight this man?
Well, it was crazy. When I first got the call from Paul, he's like, "Dude, you'll never believe this." And they were obviously looking for a little bit bigger of a guy, which is crazy because they ended up going with Dylan Dennis, who's not a big guy at all. But they were trying to get a bigger guy because they wanted to work towards Jake Paul. And obviously, looking for a guy with a little bit less boxing experience. So my name came up, and obviously Paul got me in the mix, and it was crazy that I was even in there, but it was me and I think a few other that they were thinking about, and it's pretty cool that my name was even in that chat, and Paul obviously has all those connections, but at the end of the day, I think I'll get my foot in the door with Misfits regardless, hopefully, and there's a reason they didn't pick me, and I think I know what it is. So
yeah, listen, the legend of Diamond Hands continuing to grow. One of the greatest stories, man. I'm biased, but they got to do a documentary or movie on you one day because it's crazy. Did you go from a few years ago working a tugboat to now being considered to fight one of the biggest celebrity influencers out there? It's crazy, bro. And I know we're gonna cross paths with him at some point, and you're gonna give it to him, man. I know it.
Yes, sir. I can't wait, man. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like Misfits will probably happen at some point, hopefully, and we'll go from there, I guess, and continue building.
Hey, listen, as we're winding down this episode, first of all, it feels so great to be back, man. I know it's been a few months. I love doing this with you. I know, the audience we have loves it. Listen, we were talking earlier about your buddy Hunter, who's dealing with cancer. I connected a few weeks ago. There's this young hockey player that follows us on Instagram and vice versa, and he was telling me about his, the father was telling me about his teammate, Ray Chavez. I'm actually wearing his hoodie. I'm wearing his hoodie here, the Ray Strong hoodie. I
got one coming. It's
nice.
In the mail right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, they were telling me that this young kid, man, dealing with leukemia, and it hit me hard, man, because my mom battled leukemia twice, and it's such a tough disease and cancer, and we're actually, when this episode comes out, I'll put a link in the bio. We're actually gonna auction off a Trashers jersey.
Nice.
We're gonna raffle off a Trasher jersey. All the proceeds are gonna go directly to Ray.
Hell yeah.
His family,
Right
his father Robert, great man. I'm like you, man. I love kids, and seeing kids battle, it's tough. And whatever we could do to help, I'll put a link in the bio too.
Yes.
They don't have a GoFundMe. They have something else. I think it's like Back the Blue or something like that, because his father, I believe both his parents are in law enforcement in Vegas, so they don't take fees like GoFundMe does. So I'll put a link. Look, even if it's $1, if you guys want to contribute to Ray's fight here, man, he's a great kid. Good little hockey player, too. I can't wait for him to get back, man. Yeah. We may have to get him one of your Diamond Hand shirts. The new shirt
totally.
You came out with.
Send him one. 100%.
So I want to give Ray Chavez, his family, our love. We're with you, buddy. And, on a lighter note, listen, actually, when this episode comes out, tomorrow, technically, so Wednesday, I believe the 12th, okay? I'm going to a Hartford Wolfpack game, okay, with some of the Danbury Hat Trick Booster Club members. And, dude, I'm going to be on the Zamboni in between first and second
Nice.
period.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited. I've never ridden a Zamboni before, like,
That's
technically.
unreal.
So if you're at the Hartford Wolfpack game, feel free to throw something at me. I would love for people to heckle me. That's what I live for. If you're watching this today, like when the release on Tuesday right now, come out to the Hartford Wolfpack game tomorrow. And also this weekend, Saturday, February 15th, Mohegan Sun Arena, our boy, okay, Ali Feliz,
Back at it again.
Heavyweight sensation from Danbury, Connecticut. Friend of the show, was on the show. Go back into our library. We did a sit-down interview with him. He's going for another big win. He is climbing up the ladder, as you know. Big shout out to Ali. You guys got to, if you're in the area, got to go to Mohegan Sun, CES Boxing with Top Rank Boxing. It's going to be a great night of boxing. It takes a lot for me to want to go to fights because I deal with boxing every day. I'm probably going to end up going, support my boy Ali and the family. And, yeah, man. And listen, next week, Amesy, we got a big episode. Breaking.
Big announcement.
Big announcement. This isn't a joke. This isn't like some clickbait thing. We got a big one. I was hoping we could talk a little bit about it today, but I'm like, you know what? Let's do it big. Let's hold it off. It is going to be a fire announcement, maybe an ice announcement, icy, frozen. I don't know. It's going to be fire, bro. That's all I know. I am so excited to announce this with you.
Yes, sir.
Almost a full circle type of thing with you and me, especially.
Yeah,
but
really crazy.
I am so excited. Talking trash, we are back. We got a lot of other content coming. Anything else you want to say, Ames, or anyone to plug? Happy birthday to Taylor.
Yeah.
You know, your beautiful daughter, she got the cookies we sent, right?
She did, yeah. You're always spoiling the kids. They got a literal full hockey rink right now. Shout out to actually, you know what? Shout out to Can Ice, our boy.
Yes,
he just sent
James Wong.
Yeah, James Wong. He just sent me some synthetic ice, and I got a hockey rink in my living room right now. So shout out to Can Ice. If you want any synthetic ice, it's the best ice there is. Best synthetic ice there is, and the kids are getting better at skating. So.
That synthetic ice is no joke. I know people are on the fence with it. I wish we had that when I was young.
That brand, though, specifically is much better than the rest.
Can Ice is no joke, man. They were the official, synthetic ice when we were doing Ice Wars back in the day. I mean, we got to get some content of you skate because you're like me. We don't like to post our kids that much, but I gotta get a short clip of you skating in the living room. I got a
hilarious idea for that. Actually, I've already thought. All right,
we may have to listen. Remember, we're older guys, but listen, we got to step up our content game. I'd like to see you skating around in your living room. Right. Shout out to Can Ice, my buddy James Wong. James got a very really good son who plays hockey. Another up and coming kid. So, but yeah, man. Love you, brother. Glad we're back at it.
Let's
and
go.
Looking forward, guys. Tune in next week. We're going to have a big episode. And again, guys, these shows aren't live. You can go back in the library, subscribe, check out the old episodes. Super excited. And we'll see you guys next time.